And I want to start out again by thanking Prime Minister Modi for coming to visit us in this region, and also obviously Prime Minister Støre for hosting us here. I had my first bilateral meeting with Prime Minister Modi this morning, which was a very exciting meeting for us because we have such a good story to tell between these two countries. And I think in today's world, like many have said here, people need a sense of hope that unlike countries in some aspects can come together, that there's a sense of respect between nations, in dialogue, in trade, that we're not feeding a world where we're closing off, but we're opening up to each other. And so I think this summit comes at a very poignant time for us, that we can show that even though we're miles apart as a grouping, as Nordics, from India, but also for a country like Iceland, which is very different in scale and size, there are so many things that tie us together. Obviously on our end, like Prime Minister Modi mentioned, our expertise when it comes to geothermal energy and renewables is something that we are very happy to share, and we know that we are getting things in return. We've seen through the free trade agreements, like Prime Minister Modi addressed, an increase in investment coming from Iceland into India. So there's so many things that we can do together. And I just have to address, I love that word samband. I'm not going to go into depths into other languages here, but this is a purely Icelandic word. You must hear this. This is such a purely Icelandic word, and people will be very devoted to this language, Prime Minister Modi, because this is what people need. They need more samband today. I also want to address just generally the tone that's coming out of this meeting, which is very important. We are obviously leaders in our part of the world as a Nordic group, but having the biggest democracy in the world, the leader of the biggest democracy, address things like climate change and seeing it as something that we need to address for progress, not something that holds us back, is such an important message coming from a leader at this scale today. I think a lot of people are afraid by what we need to do, and here we're harnessing hope, and this is a message that needs to be heard. It's the same with trade and investment, that we're opening up, not closing off. It's the same with finding ways to come together on AI and tech instead of maybe pushing it aside or not wanting to adapt to it, that we have global rules and regulations on it. This is really pushing us to think. And obviously also towards the end, how we talk about multilateralism. Excellent speaking points on the fact that the UN and these big institutions, they're in a way operating on a 20th century model. That's maybe why people are losing trust in them, but that doesn't mean we should put it aside. We need to revamp them. And so these are all hopeful messages that I take out of this meeting, and I look forward to further cooperation.